Hi. Okay, first of all, shout out to this comment, JD. I'm not even going to try to mention your full name, but yeah, I'm sorry if I took so long making this video. Anyways, um, just a freaking disclaimer: I'm no art professional. Just check whatever my advice is with a grain of salt, and I like to do my art basically in a semi-realistic art style, if that makes sense. Yeah, so let's just go to the tutorial or the concept that I have when I color skin. So our skin, basically human skin at least, has cool tones and warm tones. So for cool tones, it's kind of like in that grayish, purpley, pinkish side, and for warm tones, it's more on the brighter or like really brownish side. So these two tones are very important to me, at least when I color the skin. So I'll say the reason later, but I'll just discuss the concept first. So for cool tones, the veins for the cool tones are usually like bluish and purplish. You could see it if you just put your palm in front of you and you notice like the veins on your skin. If you could see it, you can determine whether you're a cool tone or you're a warm tone. So cool tones have like, again, bluish and purplish veins, and for warm tones, they have olive or gray veins. Personally, I have gray, or I have warm tones in my skin, and there's also something in the middle we call neutral or olive, which has both blue veins and gray veins. Okay, so I just like to keep this in mind when I'm coloring skin tones. For this tutorial, I'm gonna use lighter skin colors. Maybe I can use darker skin colors in another video, but I'm just gonna tell you this is basically the concept that I have. So the reason why it's very important to keep that in mind when I'm coloring is because I use these kinds of different colors. So for warm tones, or warm bases, when it comes to colors, there are different shades that suits like the highlights or like the different colors that you could use so that your skin isn't pale. Okay, so this is actually from a makeup beauty thingy advice in the internet, breakfreegirl.com, and they're just basically saying that for warm tones, these colors fit you when you're choosing like a lip color, and for cool tones, these are the shades that are very suited for them. So that applies with like clothes and like your blush or your eyeshadow, but again, it depends on the person. But if you're a warm tone, definitely these shades would suit you best. So for example, I'm just gonna pull up my K-pop weeaboo-ness for a minute, and Joy from Red Velvet I'm having like word diarrhea. She's a very warm tone kind of girl, and these kinds of colors suit her the most. I'm not saying that she doesn't suit like the cool tones, because but it's just, my point is there are really colors that suit someone. So in comparison to her other groupmate, which is Irene, who suits kind of like the very pale Korean skin, which is like these kinds of colors, which are like a while ago, like I said, the blues, the violets, or those neutral nude, very purplish skin or skin tone, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, skin lip lip color. Yeah, these suit her the most because she's cool toned. Okay, so yeah, so that's just a freaking real life example that I keep in mind when I color. So yeah, so I've been blabbering about like skin tone and skin undertones, but what's the difference between them? So according to Skincraft, skin tone is your surface skin color. So basically that's what your pigment is. So if you're light, medium, or dark, that's your skin tone. And or your undertone is like the subtle hue underneath the surface of your skin, right? It's in the definition. So yeah, that's basically a concept that I always have when I'm shading, or sorry, coloring skin. So the main inspiration, I guess, of this art style is this manhwa that I really love. I really love this manhwa. It's called Kingsmaker. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, the coloring is freaking divine. So I kind of studied how to do it, and I kind of altered it to how I want my coloring style to be. So I think it's very important for like artists, especially the young ones, to find a creator, or like just, you know, technically someone who they can reference to, not just only one person, but like find a lot of people, find multiple artists that you think are good for you, or like is your type when it comes to like coloring or your art in general. So yeah, I guess I'll make another video of that for like tips and stuff, but this is a skin coloring video. Anyways, let's move on to that. I can't explain, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the part of the skin tutorial, and I really do have to apologize because my OBS studio was being a bitch. So my footage was like glitching like crazy, and I hate it. But anyways, I'm just gonna explain like what I did. So basically, I first put on a base for Miko. This is Miko, my original character. He's a very warm tone kind of person, and I just put on obviously a warm base, and I normally go with like a very light base. So yeah, and what I did is I kind of like shaded the forehead part, and after that I shaded the neck. So like the neck should be a little darker than the face, so that your the features of the face would like pop out. So that's usually what I do. And like I know it's like unnecessary to put the shadow underneath. Some people don't do that because they don't like it, but to me it's just my preference. I kind of like it. And yeah, so I'm just like free talking this. I don't know where am I in the video already, but this this kind of coloring is a very warm kind of coloring. So by warm I mean like putting all like the base or like the extra colors in a warm tone, but the final color will have like a very cool tone so that it neutralizes all those warm shades. So that's usually what I do. I kind of like bombard it with very warm colors if the character is a warm tone, and in the end I kind of finalize it with a little bit of purple to kind of contrast, just so that the warm isn't, you know, isn't very 2D. So the warm would have another kind of shade or color that would make it look better. So what I figured is warm tones like this, or like peachy shades, usually work best with like purplish colors. So that again, it's just my my style and the way I do it. So on the other hand, like literally a hand, is Isaac, and Isaac is a very cool tone person. And for cool tone shades, what I do is like the exact opposite of warm tone. So I kind of still bombard it with a very warm tone at first, and then I tend to shade it after with very cool colors. So just take this example from this picture and use it as a shade for this kind of cool tone. So it's basically the exact opposite of warm colors, just the reverse. At least that's what I do. Okay, so I'm gonna post a picture of like all the shades that I used for Miko, and also the shade for the base that I used for Isaac's hand, and along with all the other stuff. And I have to like tell you that the brush that I use is like a custom brush that I made for myself, because I really don't like the presets of paint tools, sorry, but I really have this kind of like aesthetic that I want when it comes to like my colors or how I want to draw and shit. So I made my own, and I'm also gonna put that in the like the picture of it. I'll just post it in my DeviantArt. I don't know where else could I post it, so I'll just put it there along with the brush. So yeah. Anyways, I have another example. For this one, I'm gonna use my boy Kita Shinsuke from Haikyuu. So this one is kind of like just a picture, because video footage is glitching for me, so I guess this would be a nicer way to explain things. So I just pull up a line art from my sketches, and then what I did is I just took the base color from the original color of his skin, and yeah, I just put it there. And I figured that I'll try using a warm tone, so I used for this one the warm shades, which is peaches, and then after that I used the colors just to deepen it a little bit so that it doesn't look two-dimensional. I used peachy pinks for this next picture. And when you're shading arms or like neck, I think it's again, it's just my preference. For me, it's like best if you kind of emphasize the muscles. I don't know, or you could just not do that, but it depends on the person. But for me, I like doing that, so I did that for this photo. So then next one, I kind of took the skin color, the base color, and I neutralized the shadings. So it's like I took the very dark shadings and I just made it paler. Okay, so it doesn't really look overpowering. So the next one that I did is I used another very dark shade. I used orangey reds from the warm tones for this particular picture. And what I did is I kind of highlighted more the shadows or the shades. I don't know what the art terms are, but yeah, so I also added like a shadow for his hand for that kind of dimensional effect, so it doesn't look flat. Basically, that's just my principle when it comes to coloring. I don't want my colors to look flat, so yeah. Okay, next one is I'm pretty sure I added, what tone did I add? I think I added purple and blue, or blue-green, somewhere in that. So actually the last one is actually very good already. So if you're satisfied with that kind of coloring, which I think other people will be, I think, go ahead and you could have that kind of coloring, that's fine. But for me personally, I like adding a little more color to the skin because it's just fun to do it. Sometimes I overdo it, like I'm guilty with it. I'm definitely guilty doing that. But yeah, just do what's fun for you. So yeah. The next one, I just shaded the eyes and I added a little bit of highlights, like brighter colors compared to your base. Just pull up your base and put it on the left side near to white, and I highlighted the face, the nose, and the arms and the fingers just to put a little emphasis on them. So the next one is basically kind of like the final product, if I may say. I colored the line art inside the character, like not the, I didn't really mess with like the black lines except for some of them that I probably just missed. But yeah, I think it looks great. It's really just a stylistic choice, but you could just have it without the black lines or whatever, it's your thing. But for me, I like coloring the inside of the line art if I'm really serious. But if I'm lazy, I'm probably not gonna do it. Anyways, I don't know if you really understood my explanation, but I'm just gonna leave all like the pictures I used or like all the references, or just take a screenshot or just put it up in Google, like Google warm tones, skin tones, all those tones, whatever the fuck they are. But yeah, again, this is kind of like my first tutorial, and I want to end 2020 in a productive note, because 2020 sucks, and I'm just fucking hoping that 2021 doesn't fucking suck, you know. Anyways, if you ever find this tutorial helpful, please give me a like or a sub. That's really going to be very appreciated. If you have any kinds of comments or questions, just feel free to put it in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video was able to help you. Bye bye!